So you're thinking about moving to Gulf Shores, Alabama and buying new construction? Well, today we are here doing a first walkthrough for one of our clients who's moving here from California. Isn't everybody? So listen, we're going to just do this little walkthrough. We're with the builder. And you know, they go through and they mark all. You'll see a lot of blue paint, a lot of blue tape, green tape. They mark little spots where they need to do just repairs. They show the buyer how everything actually works. So we're going to show you exactly the process that you go through on your first walkthrough, and we'll get to it right now. Hey guys, if it's your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, and ring that little bell so you can be one of the first ones to learn everything there is to learn about what it's like to actually live at the beach. You know, the beach life. I'm Andy Hollis, along with my partner Aileen Fountain, and our entire team. We do videos just like this each and every week just to be informative, just to let you know what it's like to actually live at the beach. Whether it's 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months until you're thinking about making that move, don't hesitate to pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, set up a Zoom call. We'd love to talk to you face to face. We get phone calls, texts, and emails from people just like you every single day, and we absolutely love it. So as I mentioned, today we're going to do a walkthrough for a new construction home. It is the DSLD builder. So I mean, they're top-notch homes, and I think this house is like in the mid-3s. And so anyway, we have a client who is moving here from California. She's doing her initial walkthrough. Her closing is coming up fast. She's very excited. So stick around to the end of this video, because we're going to have an interview with her, and she'll tell you all the goods and the bads, the ins and the outs, the yin and the yang, everything that you need to know about buying a new construction home in the Gulf Shores, Orange Beach area. So let's get to it.
Several years down the road, you know, kids put a hand on the wall, you can just touch it up with those.
Oh, there's no kids, but yeah.
Well, hey, whoever may it be. So yeah, that's a lot better than trying to tote those 5 gallons that's in the attic.
Okay.
Yep, pretty straightforward. Alright, we're going to check this door real quick, make sure it latches. Big little spot right here. Alrighty. And again, if y'all have questions, anything like that, don't be scared to ask. So here's your garage door. So this is a spring door right here. If you let that go, it'll close on itself. This is just a municipality thing with Gulf Shores. It's supposed to prevent carbon monoxide from coming in the house or anything like that. Okay. And yes, I'll put a little wood fill in that. As you can see, I need to tighten this hinge bump right here. These hinge bumps are great. You just gotta make sure you tighten these pins down every so often. Because you can see the whole gist of it is supposed to catch this little hinge right here, but if it comes up too much, it just goes right past it. So, like I said, about once a year, tighten doorknobs up, and then go around and just hit these pins back down and tighten them up a little bit. So. Okay. All right. You got your mud bench right here. Alrighty. So mud bench, pretty straightforward stuff. I have a lot of homeowners. Whoops, I'm sorry. You guys let me take a look. Yeah. I've got a lot of homeowners that this is a really great space that you can do some stuff to. So, like that beadboard you got on that island, a lot of my homeowners will put a piece of beadboard here and put some hooks and do the decorative thing. It looks really good, and that's a great use of that cavity right there. Yeah, so. It is nice. Alright, and then a little linen closet. Y'all can take a look. Okay. Just that's a little piece of sheetrock on the bottom.
Well, you did that.
Hey, you learn where to look after a while. One more spot. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Alrighty, of course here's the kitchen. So I'm going to go through cabinets, appliances, then we'll look for sheetrock paint. Okay, turn the lights back on. So your microwave is pretty straightforward, of course. This is a hooded microwave. So this is something new that we've kind of started doing right here. So this is a legitimately hood-vented microwave, and it goes to the outside of your brick. It's not out your roof, but it's out your brick to the side. So, yes. These microwaves do have grease catchers under here. You can tell a little bit of debris right there, I'll clean it out. So these grease catchers, you want to clean every so often if you legitimately use this hood vent, you know, like bacon grease and stuff, you want to kind of get that grease off. You have a filter in here that doesn't hurt to replace every so often too. Again, just to kind of keep your hood vent clean. If I can get the tape off. There you go. Like I said, there's just a secondary filter up there just to make sure no kind of soot gets past that. But so go ahead and run this.
Now this is tilted a little forward. I think it needs to have the little legs on the front.
Yeah, I see that. We can definitely tilt that back. I'm still getting used to these new stoves.
And this is a Frigidaire.
Yes, it is. Right there. I was going to say, this is the same model we've been using, slightly different head unit, and I'm trying to figure out how to. There we go. I couldn't get the time off. There we go. We'll go ahead and let that preheat.
Okay.
Go ahead and turn this on right here.
Do they heat up pretty quick, huh?
They do.
Okay.
Look at that, Randy, see it. Like I told you, the electric
Because
now,
I'm used to gas.
quite
Yeah,
different.
look, I'm from Louisiana. I love gas. Gas is better in almost every way you can think of.
Yeah.
We just have a lot less of it down here. Now, I've actually got a couple homeowners that do the propane tank and bury it in the ground, which is something you can do.
Okay.
It's just kind of a pain in the butt. So all your burners are good. This is a double burner right here. This middle section is just a warm zone. So it will get warm, but it's not an actual burner right there.
All right.
Cool. Looks good. Turn it off. Make sure I'm not cooking another animal.
Yeah.
Did that one time. That was a mistake. Alrighty. We'll run your sink for a second. So while we're running that, we can go over your dishwasher. These dishwashers are great. They are energy efficient. Basically what that efficiency means is your power supply and the heating element are a little smaller than what your old school dishwashers were. So before you start this, you want to make sure you got hot water at your sink.
Oh, okay.
If you have hot water at your sink, you know this is going to pull hot water in. And I always like to add too, right now no one's living in the house, so I've got, 100 or so feet of cold water I gotta get out of the way before it's hot. When you're living in here, taking a shower, doing laundry, you're gonna have hot water in the system. So you don't usually have to do this every time, it's just kind of good practice. So once you get that hot, you'll hit normal wash. Normal wash is the only mode that has any kind of drying cycle in it at all. So once you hit that, you'll hit start. And then when you shut it, you have a blue light. When that finishes the cycle, that light turns green. Right?
Oh, okay.
Nice and hot.
Oh, that was fast.
And then there's one more thing that Frigidaire, not us, but Frigidaire recommends is a little bit of rinse aid. The rinse aid helps the drying cycle a little bit. So just to reiterate, turn your sink on. Once your sink's hot, hit normal. We're gonna hit start. Put your pot in. Make sure we got rinse aid. Good to go.
Okay.
Make sure there's no debris in this disposal.
I was just wondering if it had the trash cans in the underneath.
Disposal right
So the disposal's down there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Your
okay.
switch is here. Again, we kind of put this switch here because A, it's easier to put it there, and B, it looks like, you don't have to wear a white switch on your brain.
That would be weird, yeah.
Much better. Now, if you want to look down here just for a second, I always like to explain this. You have two outlets in here. So disposals don't have an on or an off. They either have power or no power. So what we're doing with the switch is we're actually turning the power to this outlet on and turning it off. So the reason I mention that, a lot of times my homeowners will re-navigate where they're plugged into, and then they can't figure out why the dishwasher only comes on when they turn the switch on, and that is because why.
Okay, so don't move them.
Essentially, you're welcome to move them, just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Does it have a pull-out garbage can or are they?
We don't have those. Again, there's a lot of customability you can do to these houses, so if that's something you want to do, you can do that. It's just kind of like you do this.
The pantry's not.
Yes.
And then we'll run through the cabinets and scissors. Again, these are all pretty straightforward. Again, got a couple little spots, do some touch-ups on them. Honestly, we'll probably end up replacing this one right here.
Okay.
sheetrock paint, anything like that around here that I missed?
No.
Dishwasher's very quiet.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, now check this pantry door. Make sure y'all see any more sheetrock paint. And we'll go ahead and kind of do a circle with the dining room. Speaking of which, have you seen these blank faceplates? Or noticed them when you come in here?
Yeah.
Have you seen that panel that's in your closet?
Yeah.
In the master, so that's what we call an SWPS, a structure wiring panel.
Okay.
So that's your cable and your internet. We pre-run all that inside your walls, so you don't have, modem in your closet, wires sprawled out. It's
Right.
supposed to be out of sight, out of mind, essentially.
Yeah.
These blanks are where that cable, the panel is terminating at. So once you get cable internet, your service provider will set up that modem, then give you whatever connection you need, and you're good to go. No,
So you can hardwire it or wireless. So.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay.
All right, let's hit these windows real quick. Have you ever done tilt sash windows before?
No.
So these are great. You hit the sides, they tilt out. The gist is supposed to be so you can clean it inside without taking screen, going outside, doing all that good stuff. So.
Okay.
Couple things with these windows I like to show. Before you tilt it, you want to have a little gap. If you tilt it right here,
Yeah,
it's going to take that lip with it.
Okay.
So these tabs right here, they're pretty cheap parts right here. Obviously this isn't something that needs to be expensive. I always tell people it's good practice just to make sure they're in. The last thing you want to do is not get all the way there.
Yeah.
You turn around and it hits you.
Yeah.
So good practice just to film. Okay, they're in. Bunny ears are in. Window's not going anywhere. So.
Okay.
Now these blinds are cordless. Have you dealt with cordless blinds?
Yes.
So up and down, just the usual stuff. I always like to show how to pull these down correctly, if you will. A lot of my homeowners will bias the side left to right. Eventually you gotta take all sheetrock and paint off.
Right.
To avoid that, pull it out, pull it down, put it back in. So that's preserving all your sheetrock and paint on the sides of the window.
Okay.
And of course, all these windows that have the option to open, all have window screens on them. So.
Okay.
Just put sheetrock right there. Alrighty, let's go hit the dining room. Couple of flip cards. Oh yeah, I should also mention too, again, kind of similar to the hinges and the doorknobs, about once a year, maybe once every 2 years, of course it depends how much you use these windows. It doesn't hurt to put a little lubrication on the glides and the mechanism down here. It's vinyl on vinyl, so essentially if it gets dry enough, that vinyl will kind of stick to each other. So this is what you're going to laugh at. The best lubricant you use for this is not WD-40 or any of that. It's actually Pledge, specifically the lemon scent.
Oh, really?
Lemon scent has natural oil in it like WD-40, but doesn't have the grease. WD-40 has grease, so you will stain your wall. That Pledge will not stain because there's no grease in the oil. So
Okay.
just kind of FYI on that.
One thing I did notice is that this is tilted.
Okay. Yeah, she's a little tilted.
A little tilted.
Just a hair. Got it. Alright, and that's pretty easy. You just gotta move a couple of those switches yourself. So. Alright, y'all ready to go get the master real quick? Okay. Master area. Any questions? Everything good so far? Our 3 bedrooms also have smoke and carbon detectors. So you have 5 combos plus that self-closing garage door. So you got a lot of respiratory protection.
Okay.
And these talk to each other, by the way. So
Yeah, they're on.
if it's fire, it will say fire. You know to look for it. If you hear carbon, you know you're not looking. You're just getting out because you're not going to see carbon. So it does make the distinction once it goes off. And they are hardwired too. So that's kind of how they talk to each other.
Yeah. So they'll all go off at one time.
Well, yes and no. One will go off, and when one goes off, the rest goes off, and then they'll all say fire or carbon, and you know what you're dealing with. The wall color is agreeable gray. Damn near everyone in Baldwin County uses that agreeable gray. As a matter of fact, it's so popular that when COVID hit, we had DSLD, and you know all the builders had their own version of it. It's all the same color. The only person I could get it was Horton. So us, Adams, Holiday, everyone was using Horton agreeable gray because it's all the same color. But, yeah, kind of a funny story
That's
with
what my
that.
house was.
Yeah,
I
so
built
that
it, yeah.
sounds great.
And then the trim, of course, is semi-gloss extra white or extra blanco if you want to be fancy.
Okay.
We're always fancy.
That's
Yeah.
right. So again, here's your secondary link cable. So you have two. You got the living room, you got the master for the terminating cables. Again, just keeps the wires outside out of line.
And these are all controlled by the switch, right?
Yes, this one just didn't know.
So, but if you want to change the speed, so you just pull that.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
That doesn't sound good. I don't think, see, I got a problem.
I see why I was off.
We're gonna have to put longer chains on that.
Yeah.
Longer around.
I'll check that out. I'm not sure what scraping, but I'm sure it's a little piece of debris that's in
Yeah.
the fan. So if not, we can swap the fan.
Okay.
I'll get that
Maybe
fixed up for you.
Lemon pledge, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably got a piece of safety paper in there
Something.
somewhere. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Check through all of these. Oh yeah, while I'm looking at these too, I know these look kind of weird, funny. These, it's a tool. So this tool goes into this spigot right here, and what it does is you twist that filter off. Maybe once every 2 years, even 3 years, if you want to take these filters off, because there's usually a little bit of sediment, debris that you scrape off of there. So, like I said, 2 or 3 years down the road, this is noticeably weaker. It's probably because that filter's got some debris in it. So
Okay.
it's very easy to clean. It takes a few seconds. Not that it's needed right now, but
Right.
just a kind of maintenance down the road.
Like the lights in here, you know.
I think it's the same in the other one. I think it's the same in the other one too. In your bathroom. They got hot that fast?
They do.
That's nice.
Which really isn't super fast, not compared to a tankless. Tankless is almost immediately,
Yeah.
but our heater's pretty good. They spit out pretty quick.
Yeah, my old house, it took several minutes.
Good. No leaks, everything looks good. Run your shower in your tub.
Oh, okay.
I've got a head shower still.
Yep.
Looks good. There's a little linen closet right here. Y'all didn't poke your head in that yet.
I know, there's lots of little closets.
I know DSLD's kind of notorious for if there's a cavity, we're putting some shelves in it.
It's a good use
Make it a
of
closet, so.
the space.
Alright. We're gonna let that run, make sure it gets hot. I always like to make sure this pack right here doesn't leak, so we'll let that go for a second. And
Alright.
then you got a little bit of paint on my head, I'll clean it off for you.
And all these lights are they LEDs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, everything's a LED. They're different kinds of LEDs, but like a can light inside and disc lights outside, they're both LEDs, just slightly different.
Okay.
With that being said, while I'm thinking about it, your can lights are the only fixtures we have that you can dim, by the way, if you do something like that. So a lot of my homeowners like the dimmers, which
Yeah.
I do too, but those cans are the only ones that you can
You
dim.
can't dim the,
These bulbs are LEDs, but again, they're cheaper LEDs, so they can't withstand different power, so it's on or off.
okay.
Except
What about
for
the
your
fans? The fans are not dimmable?
I tell you what, they probably are, not right now, because they have the same LED bulbs that we have in here, and that, but if you change those bulbs,
To
they
dimmable?
probably are. Right,
Okay.
right.
But when you do the chain, all that just looks different.
Well, if you get the dimmable LED light in there, because I know that that's different
Right,
than
yeah.
regular.
Look at that piece of tape, that's a little bit extra caulk, and you want to clean off that. Sure, looks good, there we leaks. Nice and hot. Piece of sheet right there too. Alrighty, I'm gonna hit that toilet real quick.
It's a good thing I'm alone.
Alright, you wanna check master closet out real quick?
And this is where that whole
This
setup is.
panel, yes ma'am.
Okay.
So this is again your SWP and these plastic tabs.
I like the fact that they don't do the
So,
wire shelf.
The what?
but yeah, this is your
wire
SWP.
shelving,
Oh,
most of
like,
the
those
DSLD
are hard to put stuff on.
Most of the others put a wire shelf in it, they're so cheap.
And that's where it plugs in.
Hook and mode
There's
pump,
nice
and then
finishes
you just go to the
too.
sports.
Mhm.
So essentially, just to reiterate, it goes from the outside of the house to your attic, it goes from attic down to this panel, it goes back to the wall to those two areas. So pretty straightforward. It's a really nice feature. A lot of people use nowadays.
We had something similar, but it was older, and we had to pull from the attic into this.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, y'all essentially modified it to what we're
Yes,
using.
exactly.
So,
Mhm.
I'll check this too. And I did see one little sheetrock spot on there.
And there's these little things.
I know, that's nice if those are already there.
And then there's plugins on both sides.
All right, guys, any questions? All right, hit the guest area?
Yeah.
Let's get up here. Just a piece of debris. I was gonna say, I don't know if I turned that one on or not. And these, by the way, they do have the winter option with the reverse.
Oh, reverse.
Yeah. It's just a little tab that's up top.
Not at the top there, but on
No,
the side.
yeah, right above the blades.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually see it.
I was gonna say, you being as tall as you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't quite reach it, but I can see it.
Exactly. Again, their cavity, their closet. So
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of like a little jacket closet, whatever you want to use that for.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit your doorbell while we're over here. Good to go.
Okay.
Looks good.
What kind of things do people normally put on the front door?
Well, I mean, are you talking about blind wise or
Like
decoration
just
wise?
so like you're not like, you know.
So these doors, they come from well, it's builder's first source now, technically Ford millwork. But what's cool about these, this is just an insert. So again, depending how much you want to put in this house, you can go get a nice blind insert that has the little knob right here where the
inside.
blind's actually inside the window.
Okay.
Or you could, some people put some kind of storm situation. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these inserts, so that's kind of up to you. A lot of people, they'll screw in a rod and just drape a curtain on it. So like I said, that's kind of up to you.
Okay.
But
Or
that's,
you can get fancy, you can get plantation shutters. and-
Yeah.
yeah, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The only thing that I will mention, again, this is a fortified house. You don't want to, like, shutters are a good idea. Just be careful doing that because you could compromise whatever's in front and behind of it, which might compromise your fortification.
Okay.
If that makes sense to
Yeah.
you. So, but now, just like a screen or just like an extra door probably isn't going to hurt anything as long as you're not modifying anything. So. Alright, so we got our secondary hallway. Again, there's your smoke and carbon detector. Your doorbell chimes right there. This is your thermostat, pretty straightforward stuff. You've probably used one similar to this already. It's touchscreen, all basic stuff. You got heat, cool, and off. You do have emergency heat. Don't use emergency heat unless it's emergency.
Okay.
With that being said, your fan has auto on and circulate. Don't ever take that fan out of the auto position. So again, we were joking about the humidity. Down here, our units have to have large dehumidifying systems in them because of the amount of humidity.
Okay.
So the auto position is what allows it to pull that humidity out correctly and not pump a bunch of wet air in the house. I've had some, especially older homeowners that, you know, come from the north and they'll leave for the winter, go back up north. And what they'll do is they'll put the fan on position. When they come back 2 months later, the house has got mildew on every square inch because that dehumidifier can keep up for about 2 or 3 days. After day 3, day 4, you're blasting humidity in the house at that point. So
keep it on auto.
always leave it on auto. If you don't want anything on, turn it off on the mode side. You leave that fan there. That fan's still going to kick on to pull humidity out the house, but it's not going to push any fresh environment into the house. So, all right. And then there's so this is your return. We put our air filter in the attic at the air handler, which when we get to the garage and the attic, I'll show that or take a video of it. But so this is, again, just your air return where the plenum is pulling fresh air to the air handler.
So there's not going to be a filter in this one?
No, ma'am. It has to be in the
So I have to go in the attic to
Yes,
change the
but I'm not sure if you've seen our attics. We have very large landings, so you're not trying to skip across trusses. It's very safe. You actually have a single door right here. So this one does have a light in it. That secondary or that front bedroom has a double closet, but there's no light in it.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Let's see what we got. Yes, that little spot that's already accounted for. Like I said, it's we got to run through these out. Show up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have 2 or 3 sets out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's taken there. All right, we'll check this one right here. Good to go. Everything looks good. Also, while I'm thinking about it, so you've got 2 grills up here.
Yeah.
That is your actual register. This grill right here is part of your Energy Star. So all of our houses now have an Energy Star code and rating that we deal with and follow, which I totally forgot to mention that earlier. But like that microwave hood vent, believe it or not, that's part of the Energy Star, having that microwave hood vent. So these are called jump ducts, and basically what they do is they alleviate positive or negative CFMs inside of a room. So, like you know, during the winter, you got the heat on, and if you open the door, a door shuts. That's typically caused by positive pressure. So, you won't have that in this house because it allows, it doesn't allow any pressure, which at the end of the day prevents your air handler from suffocating.
Okay.
So this just helps give that air back to the return that your unit needs up there. So, like I said, you're not shutting a bunch of air in here and suffocating that unit where it can't pull enough air. So that's one of the features. There's a couple other little things in the attic we'll go over, but again, that's something it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. It does its job, you never have to maintenance it.
Is there only one filter for both the air and the heater?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. Yeah.
Alright.
You're on a heat pump, so it's one unit for both.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked that one out.
Here's a little thing.
Little spot, let's take it out.
4 hours?
Yeah.
Let's knock the bathroom out real quick. So, you have a GFI in here, which is already here. So, you're familiar with GFI, correct? Both your bathrooms are on this GFI. It's on one circuit.
And it's in
Hair dryers, blow dryers, straighteners, that's typically what's going to pop these. So, you're doing your hair, you lose power. It's probably because it's tripped over. Yeah, so just come check that out.
Okay.
You see, the more water we use, the quicker it heats up. That was hot almost immediately. So.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Again, the more you use the water, the quicker stuff kind of starts coming out. So.
Okay, so all the doors open into one big area.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. That looks good. Let's see a little piece of debris right there. Just a minute.
The water got hot immediately.
So one more feature of the Energy Star, as you can hear it, whenever you turn the power on in here,
It automatically
that fan
turns it
comes
on.
on. Let me phrase that. That's technically part of the Energy Star, but it's also a Gulf Shores thing. So every time you turn that light on, that fan's gonna turn on, and it's a 75 CFM fan, so it's gonna pull what you don't want in here out pretty quickly. So.
Okay.
All right, now I can get out your way if you want to take a better look in there.
Mom, you want to look? Very pretty.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's all in here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Double doors look good. By the way, these doors, not that you ever would, but it is a feature, so I always mention it. You can adjust how loose or how tight these shut. So you've got this ball joint up here. So if you loosen it, you're making it shut tighter. If you're tightening it, you're making the door shut looser. So just kind of FYI, you do what you want to with that info.
Okay. And this one doesn't have the light. But
That's correct. It's a shallow closet. It's a wider closet, but shallow.
Yeah.
So the way our company sees it, you have sufficient light
Right.
from this fan over here.
okay.
Is that the one you're thinking about, your desk?
I think
being
it
in?
would be the best.
Yeah, a lot of people use the front. It's kind of like their office space typically. So
Yeah.
now I'll check this door, and then we'll be ready for the garage, attic, and outside.
And this runs the whole house.
That's correct. Yeah, it's not a mini split or anything like that. One unit, one house. Yes, sir. Alright. Well, again, real quick before we go outside, anything I want to double check? Any questions, anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
Put my Arctic glass.
Yeah. And so this is a 10-foot then?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manny can't live in some place that only has
I said it had to have 9-foot ceiling.
That's, immediately she won't look at the house.
Hey,
It just makes the house that much.
it's good to know, you know.
Yes.
I was like,
Have
But
your
I kind of
standards and
agree
stick
with
to
her.
them.
I agree with her that it makes it a lot more.
So, a couple
Open.
things out here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and run through your breaker box.
okay. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you got two boxes. You got one, you got your big 200 amp on the outside, then of course you got this one inside.
Oh, there's one outside too?
Yeah, so
Okay.
this one controls kind of like your rooms, your plugs. The one on the outside is controlling like the stove control panel. It's bigger stuff, your AC unit. So when we get there, we'll check
Okay.
that out. So all pretty basic stuff. This is your water heater and your dryer. They're both black. They're 220s. No arc fault, ground fault, which I'll explain that in just a second. Same with these. These are your GFIs. They're either on or they're off. Now all of these that have the Christmas colors on them,
Yeah.
these are arc fault, ground fault. These are ground faults. As far as you're concerned, they do the same thing.
Okay.
So for example, we will find your island bar somewhere around here. Okay. We'll just do the kitchen. Like I said, I can't find the bar right now. So you spill some water, hits an outlet, whatever, you're going to receive what's called a half trip. So this is essentially a GFI inside the breaker. You just don't have that big ugly square out there. So if you ever have what we call this half trip, you got to turn it off to get it back on.
Okay.
What it's doing is it's preventing you from pinning this breaker down. No matter what you do, you're going to lose power whether it's pinned down or not.
Okay.
And then same with these, they're exact same deal. Half trip, turn it off, turn it back on. A lot of times I tell people, because it can be a little weird to find if you don't know what you're looking for. If you lose power and you're trying to find one of these plugs, you don't have to look. If you run your fingers, you're going to feel one of those that's moving.
Okay.
If that one's wiggling, turn it off, reset it, you know it's back online. So.
Okay.
All right, you got your 50-gallon hot water heater over here. This is a pretty standard hot water heater. Most heaters only have one element. This one's got a double element, so it heats up a little quicker, and it's just slightly better piece of equipment what most people use. So you can turn these up, you can turn them down. Whatever you do, you got to match the top and the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So you do 125. This needs to be 125.
And is it underneath there?
Yeah, so
Or
you'll take
the
this
switch?
off, and then you'll have a square piece of insulation you take off, and it's a little knob.
Okay.
So right now they should be between 122 and 123 for 120 inside the house.
Okay.
I legally can't go over 120 for liability purposes, but again, like my wife, she likes boiling like a lobster, so
Right.
I have mine turned up a little hotter to do that. Just don't exceed 130. That's kind of when you get in that dangerous territory of damaging fixtures. But again, you can turn them up, turn them down, just match each other.
And is this is just to drain?
Yes, so this is a T&P pan. So essentially what this is for, you got two of these. You got one here and one on the top that goes outside. If you have a puncture issue, the gist is supposed to be it drips down here and it leaks on the floor. Of course, the second is sheetrock. If you have an internal issue, again, there's a pipe on the outside of the brick that will spray the contents out. So it's not spraying in here, get sheetrock wet or scalding someone. It's just going to release outside so nobody gets hurt or no sheetrock gets hurt. So.
Okay.
And again, when we do a lap, I'll point all that out to you.
Okay.
Of course, you got your garage button. I'll hit that real quick. The garage does have sensors, so if something's in the way or gets in the way, it will open the opposite.
Okay.
So y'all got this flex switch right here. Not flex switch.
For the water?
Valve switch, yeah. So this is what we call a house meter. You got a yard meter, typical yard meter, and then you got a house meter. So this is kind of for emergencies, or again, if you go to California, it's the 1 week that's under 30. If you turn this off, that kills all water to the house, and then you can go to like a hose bib and drain the water. So you know that no way, no how you should have a busted pipe because there is no water inside to be busted while you're gone. So, or again, you somehow bust the tub and the tub spigot's spraying. Instead of digging in fire ants, you can come right here and kill it. So.
Okay.
Pretty good stuff. One more thing, and then we'll go check the attic out. This is another GF5, so you got two total. You got one in the guest bedroom, one out here in the garage. If this one trips out, it's going to control the garage plus the exterior. So typically Christmas lights, you got a bunch of Christmas lights on, then they go off one night. That's probably because this GF5 over here got tripped out, so just come check that.
Okay.
All right. Now with the attic, I'm not gonna force you to go in the attic. Like I said, he can come up with me and take a video.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of landing. Like I said, you're not going truss to truss. It's not sketchy. So
Okay.
you tell me, you want to come up or?
Yeah, I'll go up.
Okay. Well, if anything, you can just get on that top ladder and look into the attic. Worst comes to worst.
I won't fit in this part.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
Porch again, not much going on. You do have an outlet right there. That's just something standard we do. Outlet front, outlet on the back. So, and then you got these nice brick stoops right here. Man, it warmed up a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Now, will she have the hurricane shutters that she?
Yes, those are.
They're in the attic.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
He just
Awesome.
showed me.
You got 3 hose spigots. You got one on the right, one on the back, one on the left. So you got a bunch of water sources there.
That's good.
So you say there's a small easement in this area?
Yes, technically you have a 5-foot easement and they have a 5-foot easement. Again, that's not to prevent you from building.
Yeah.
It's just saying that if there's an issue
They need to
or
get in.
that it's just on the plaque for insurance,
Yeah.
essentially, to make it understood. You got to have drainage. Even if you put a fence, it's got to drain correctly for a fence to be there, essentially. There we go. So here's your big amp, 200 amp. Like I said, it's stove, AC, your grinder. It's the big stuff. This one controls that whole panel that we were looking at. So, and then this is a Gulf Shores thing. This is a 200 amp surge protector, which honestly I'm a huge fan of. It's great if you ever get hit by lightning. This will go out instead of your 1200R TV and the Xbox and everything else getting fried out. This gets fried versus
So it
the
just
house.
has the ultimate surge protector.
Exactly. So yeah, and on top of that, you have a couple ground rods as well that are into the rebar of the slabs. So there's a lot of, again, protection from any kind of surges like that.
Okay.
This is where that SWP is going to. So I know it's kind of hard to see. If you look across the street on that left side, you see that gray box right there? That's how yours will look. You'll get your provider, they'll hook up, they'll put that box up, they'll clean it and make it look good when they're done.
Okay. And they have fiber in this neighborhood, right?
Right now, I believe they do, yes.
Okay.
I know it's on that road.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if you couldn't get it over here, but
Right.
those concrete boxes are the fibers nodes on that road.
Okay.
There's just no nodes over here, so I assume you can get it, but I hate to tell you incorrectly.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Okay. Hopefully they do the whole neighborhood.
are you familiar with your Centricons?
No.
These are bait stations. This is for termite. This is some of the best stuff on earth. In California, what do? They spray, they put a bunch of poison all over the place. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's not good for
We
you.
had in the house, like in the walls.
Yeah, it's not good for you. It's not good for a dog. It's not good for anybody. These are great because of multiple reasons. First off, out of sight, out of mind. I know you keep hearing that a lot. Number two, even if you do have termites, they're still coming out the house and going in the ground, out of sight, out of mind. Again, it is poison, but your dog can't get to it. The only way you can get to it is pull it out. Everything about these is superior to all your other chemicals that are very lethal to everybody.
Okay.
So all they do is they take that top off, pull the old bait out, put a new bait in, you're done. That's all you got to do for a bond.
Okay.
So this piece of PVC right here, which is a little long, I can cut that down some. You remember that metal pan we were looking at? That is your
Up and
pan
down.
line. So if you see that one dripping, like I said, it's not a do or die, but you need to find some time to go check that attic out, see why that pan's getting water in it.
Okay.
These couple vents right here, these are for your bathroom vents. So a lot of builders just kind of let it flutter in the attic. We actually have ductwork to bring it all the way outside with those bath vents. So.
Okay.
And this window right here, again, oops. A lot of other builders, it's a window with a sticker they put on it essentially. These are legitimate tempered. The only way you see in this is by busting it. So
Okay.
I always just kind of like to make that distinction.
Yeah, because you're going to be in there.
Yeah. That's your tub window.
Right.
That's the only window that doesn't have a screen with it because it
Okay.
doesn't open. Oh yeah, another thing. You're probably not familiar with weep holes, are you?
No.
These little holes right here. So again, I know you're tired of hearing humidity. We got a lot of humidity down
Oh,
here.
I see right here.
Yes. So you actually have about a 1 inch gap from your brick to your wall. Brick and mortar is permeable, so you got to have ventilation to allow that moisture to dry out and run out of this brick. If you were to seal all this, you would rot the house inside out due to the moisture. So
Okay.
you have to have these holes, and again, these holes are for ventilation between that gap to make sure everything's nice and dry behind it. So.
Okay. And this is just more of those bait thingies?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
It's
it's a
all around the
full
house.
perimeter around the house.
Okay.
So we love it. Everyone in Baltimore County uses these essentially.
Okay. And how do these lights come on? Are they controlled by inside?
Yeah, I can show you real quick. It's saying.
Oh, okay. And the front one too?
That's correct. So front one, your coach lights and front floods are on that what we call 4-gang. The 4 switches by the front door. These are controlled by our crooked 4 switch that's right here.
Okay. Yeah.
So you got your fan.
Yeah.
And then there's your plug.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, all controlled via that switch back there. Again, got another outlet for back porch. That's just standard.
Okay.
And then there's your third hose bib right here. Or excuse me, second. So there you go.
We got water. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, whenever you build a pool, let that sucker run for about a day and you're good to go.
Yeah. Alright. The biggest water bill.
Yeah, you're not lying. Hey, speaking of which, never thought about this, but it's actually a good idea. Gulf Shores is real weird because they give you 2 water meters. One is a water meter, one's actually an irrigation meter. The reason you do that is if you water your grass, it separates your sewage bill. I bet you could hook up that irrigation meter and fill your pool and it doesn't run your sewage off. That's a good thought.
Oh, okay.
Y'all might need to look into that. So here's the grinder. Everyone loves the grinder. I assume you've dealt with a septic tank before.
No. Are we on a septic tank?
No, it's you treat this.
I was like, oh my God.
You treat this the same as a septic tank.
Okay.
You just don't have a big 1,000-gallon tank here. So, you ever have this noise or this light? You know that there's
a
a
problem.
issue with the equipment. That's the indication that the computer or the grinder itself has an issue. So as far as warranty purpose, or not warranty, but just information down the road,
Yeah.
10 years from now, this comes on,
Yeah.
you need to call a technician, not a plumber. Plumbers can't operate on equipment, they operate on plumbing. So lights on, alarms on, you're calling a technician. You have a clog, but no light, no alarm, that's when you call a plumber. Because what happens, especially in phase 2 I had up there, my homeowners will call a plumber.
Yeah.
They charge $100, said you call a wrong person, see you later. And then they'd have to pay someone else and wait another day to get a technician in. So
what exactly is this
Yeah.
stuff?
so to be crude, it's basically a 50-gallon blender. That's what it is. It will fill up, and then after a while, that grinder will turn on, and it grinds and purges to the main and the street.
Okay.
Which is city sewer?
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
So this doesn't have to be maintained like all the time.
No.
Only when the alarms are.
you want to prevent that alarm from
Yeah.
coming on, certainly. But I was going to mention that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind cleaning this out, taking the lid off. I know everyone else hates doing that, but what you can do, what I tell most of my homeowners, if you go to just wherever, go get a 12 or 14 ounce bottle of Dawn dish soap and put all that Dawn into your kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Let your sink run for about 20 to 30 minutes. So what you're doing is you got a concentrated amount of Dawn, but you're running that
It's
water.
greasing it up.
Yeah, well, exactly. You got to keep that water on for a while because there's a float switch it has to hit. So once it fills up, hits that float switch, this is swirling nice, clean Dawn water. It will clean itself. So you do that about once a year. It helps expand the life a lot on this.
Okay.
Maybe every 6 months.
Yeah, hey, either way, the more you do it, the better.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, no feminine products, grease, all that kind of stuff. It's not that the grinder can't handle it. Again, you got that float switch. So if that float switch gets stuck, the alarm's going to go off because it's not going to purge to the street. So.
Okay. Got it.
And then this is just what we call a clean out right here. If
Yes.
you have an issue or a backflow, this is actually a gravity cap. That cap will pop off, so it backflows out here versus backflowing in the tub or something like that.
Okay. Got it. You'll know there's a problem now.
So, yeah. If that's happening at that point, you should probably be hearing that alarm.
Right.
Which, by the way, I forgot to mention, that big white thing that was above my head, that's
Yeah.
your microwave hook vent. That's where that vent's coming out of.
And
All
then
right.
it's got the kind of things that it drains out there, right?
The
Your-
soffit.
Yeah. Instead of whatever they call those.
I'm sorry, I'm not
What
following.
are those?
Your vinyl on your soffit? You talking about up top?
Well, because
or-
does it have holes? Like she's wondering, does it
Is
drain?
that so it
No,
drains
that's
out?
no. That's for ventilation.
Oh,
Again, during
ventilation.
summertime, it's crazy hot, so you have these soffits, which allows a little bit of a draft to move some of that hot air out of there. So that is for ventilation. So here's our pipes that I kept referring to earlier.
Yes.
This is the one for the heater. You got a
Right.
bad emergency, it's just going to blow all its hot water right here.
Okay.
This small white one, this is that condensation line for the air handler up top. So especially during the summer, if this is running, that should be dripping pretty steadily.
Okay.
Now right now, again, it's winter, not a lot of humidity. Unit's not on. It's normal for it not to be dripping, but when it's 110, 100% humidity, that should be dripping heavily during that time. And then, like I said, you got an outlet that's just kind of for maintenance. If anyone works on this thing, there is a power source right there. So.
Okay.
And then you'll have a spigot.
Now, how often do you guys like water the grass out here?
So right now, this is centipede grass. Let's talk about that. Centipede is one of the only species of grass that can survive our brutal summer that we have up here. With that being said, it thrives in heat. When it goes under 70, it goes into what we call dormancy.
Okay.
It completely, again, it doesn't look great, kind of turns brown and just goes away. It's
But it's
dormant.
not dead.
No, yes ma'am. And then come summertime, it springs back up. We always tell people, once we get that first month of heat, it's usually good to put a little bit of fertilizer just to jumpstart you back. And yeah, just kind of go from there. But centipede is great, it just hates the winter.
Okay.
Now, if you're a yard freak, what you can do is, a lot of people will put ryegrass down because rye is active in winter, dormant in summer. Centipede's active in summer, dormant in winter. So you always have green grass, but you always have to mow your yard.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the
No.
pick your poison on that. But
I'm okay with not doing that.
understood. Well, guys, that's it. Again, y'all want to double check anything? Y'all ready to go inside, check the list out?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
inside.
How dirty the house is, I always refresh wash the house right before we close. It makes it that much cleaner, that much tighter. We know about the cabinet touch-ups, a couple little cabinet items here and there we'll touch up for you. Nothing major. Like she's talking about on that floor, there's one or two little spots where the tile isn't super great. Again, I've already handled that and sent that out, so I'm hoping next few days we get those couple pieces of tile eliminated for you, quick and easy.
So how long do you think it'll take to do all these little thingies?
Probably about a week, somewhere around there. I'm probably had 5 houses that I wasn't ever able to make a closing, and I've done about 500 or 600 houses. So this list, we're gonna make a closing date.
So we're pretty much set on the 17th as the closing.
Perfect.
Okay.
Be able to knock this out quick and easy for you.
All right.
We got the slightly crooked switches back there. One back door, of course, we'll get that figured out. I'm gonna check that fan out, see if there's a piece of debris. If it's just bad gearing, we'll swap the fan out. So either way, that master fan will be good to go.
Okay.
And that is all we have. So, and if you're good with that, we'll go ahead and get you a signature here. This isn't legal, not part of addendum. This is just a witness signature that you're putting down just so we're on the same page, essentially.
We did the walkthrough.
Right. That's all it is. So when I see you at closing, we'll have one more signature, and y'all be good to go.
Okay.
So, good to meet you. I'll bring you my tape measure real quick.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're here with Mandy. Mandy is moving from California. Mandy has bought a brand new construction in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I absolutely love this house. I love the builder. We did the initial walkthrough today, and everything so far has gone smooth as far as I'm concerned. So now what we're going to do is hear from Mandy, and Mandy's going to tell you all the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, whatever she's experienced. And real quick, we're just going to introduce her. So say hey, Mandy.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm moving here from California, from Southern California, and I was lucky enough to get Andy as a referral. And Andy has been so responsive, and he is so knowledgeable about this area. And I've been really happy with everything. He's shown us all of the great neighborhoods that we should look at, and we were lucky enough to find this house by DSLD. I've been very lucky to work with him.
So how's the builder been? Has the builder been okay?
Oh, builder's been great, very responsive. Any questions I had, you know, they answered even over the Thanksgiving break. So I've been very happy.
Awesome.
And the mortgage through DSLD has been excellent as well.
Okay. So Mandy actually did a mortgage through DSLD so she could get the lower rates. You know, we've told you in previous videos that the rates are astronomical right now, but you could get lower rates by using the builder. And so everything's been smooth for her. So contact us if you want us to make a smooth move for you. Okay guys, that's going to do it for our video here today at the new construction in Gulf Shores with the builder being DSLD. I'm telling you, this builder's awesome. Unbelievable. Give us a call if you want to any more information on new construction in this area, Orange Beach, Foley, Daphne, you know, any of the Baldwin County area. DSLD builds all over the place, and they're a phenomenal builder. So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and ring that little bell so you can learn everything there is to know about what it's like to actually live at the beach. Until next time, be sure to watch some of our other videos. Watch the next video. It's on new construction, and we will see you around town.